Hello to whoever is there watching right now. We're gonna wait for a few more people who may be late or just let's face it, it's Christmas Eve. So why would anybody be watching a crypto show on Christmas Eve, right? Anyway, I know some people do. So whoever is here right now, thank you for joining us. We're gonna wait for a few more people here on this Christmas Eve special to come on in. And look at all the crickets. Lots of great crickets. Nothing like the crickets. Daniel Delgado's the first one. He says, I would. Happy holidays. Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Daniel. Good to see you. Hopefully, things are going good with you so far. And if anything, hopefully you didn't have to work over the holiday weekend, you know. And if you do a little bit, um, all I can basically say is hopefully they're giving you like at least time and a half or double time and a half or more, right? That'd be cool. So, how's everything else with you, Daniel? Things going pretty good so far. All right. Tim Shea says, "Hey," because even if it's Christmas, that's what he's going to say because this is his slogan and it rhymes with his name. Tim Shea says, "Hey, good to see you, Tim." And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all you guys. Daniel Delgado says, "No, I didn't. Thank goodness." That's good. That's good. All right. We got everybody welcome each other. And that's very good as well. Brian Dowie, Merry Christmas, Max. All the best in the new year. Yes. Thank you very much. Hopefully 2023 will be a lot more profitable year. Because it'd be nice, 2022 is just but if anything, hopefully a lot of us took advantage of, getting some of these at, I guess you could say, rock bottom compared to 2021, right? I guess if you want to be positive about it. But yeah, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh man, I got a slight itch right there. All right. So let's see here. Everybody's welcome each other. Daniel says he works in the window installation as well as so lucky. Okay. Cool. Tim Shea, he worked today. It was very cold and he says he was mainly outside, but that's okay. Aren't you like back east if I'm not mistaken? Huh. Because that would be pretty darn cold. All right. Crypto McDizzle. For shizzle manizzle for show. He states, Merry Christmas, Sir Maximus. Has Rafael Santos hacked into your computer and used your account or your phone, whatever you're on right now? But yes, Merry Christmas to you and the Cornwall crew who got connections. Get that stuck like glue. All right, I'm just kidding. All right, Tim Shea says, Hey, McDiz. All right, cool. Yes, hello all. All right. So before we kick it in a little bit here more into like, the typical things that we do, right? Why don't we just share a little bit? What are you guys, I mean, how's it going so far? I mean, did you kind of huddle around the family? Did you you know, you watch like some shows? Do you watch some movies? You just eating like, I don't know, fudge? You know, does anybody really do the whole chestnuts roasting on an open fire type thing? I mean, I saw some chestnuts at the supermarket and they're like $8 a pound. And I was just like, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. But, teach his own. Um, Daniel Delgado says, I'm here because, like Gordon Gecko from Wall Street said, yeah, money never sleeps, even on Christmas. That's a good point. Edward Vincent states, Merry Christmas, Mr. Max. Yes, same back to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by even on this day, which shows that, let's face it, we're all looking for better times ahead. Thank you, Edward. All right. Yes, Connecticut. I knew it was something like that. He says 0 degrees, yikes, or less with wind chill. Ooh, probably feels even more colder than that. 21-degree high. Yikes, man. That's like, oh man, I've experienced negative degrees, not obviously here in Phoenix, but when I was up in Portland, and many years ago. And you know what I mean? It's just like there's something about when it's so cold, you feel like you're freezing to the bone. Like it's so blistering cold. All right. Everybody's welcome each other. Good. Brian Dowie says negative 24 degrees Celsius here yesterday. Not as bad today. Also back east, I imagine. I mean, are you a Patriots fan that's actually from one of the, what is it? How many states are in New England? Let me see if I still remember this. All right, without you guys telling me. All right. So I know New England is any state east of New York State. So let's start it off. New Hampshire, Vermont, um, technically Rhode Island, Connecticut, uh, Massachusetts, and Maine. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. 6 states of New England represents roughly a little over 20 million people in that particular area. So, in my humble opinion, you guys got the biggest fan base. Anyway. All right. Top Shelf Crypto. Merry Christmas, Tim Shea and everybody. All right. Wrong present. Huh. Somebody got you the wrong present. That's not cool. Crypto McDizzle for Shizzle Manizzle for Show says, well, went to family for dinner and stuff. Looking forward to the morning. Santa is coming tonight. Interesting. All right. Well, hopefully somebody left you some cookies and milk since you're basically Santa. Hopefully that's not playing any little kids hear it, right? Yeah. Anyway, April Cornwell, the other Cornwell, she says, Merry Christmas, Max. Good to see you, April. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you too. Really do appreciate that. Brian Dow, I forgot, man. That's right. You are in Canada. Okay. My bad. Got it, Max. Okay. All right. Cool. With the New England states. Yeah. Little known fact, I could probably still do it. Push came to shove. So many years back, I think I was in junior high. Actually, we didn't have junior high. We had middle school. For those people who know what I'm talking about, there's a difference between junior high and middle school, right? So junior high is 7th and 8th grade. Middle school is like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So by the time I got to 8th grade, I was able to recite all 50 states' capitals. And then on top of that, I was able to name all 50 states. And then there was another thing I was able to do. I think, name the biggest city of every state, but it's so trivial. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and kick things in. Just gonna welcome a couple more people like Cool Cat Crypto, which I don't even know what that says right now because it gets interpreted different. Let me see what it looked like on. Okay. It looks like it's a blue whale or something. It's like a whale. That's cool. I checked it out on YouTube. I'll read a couple more. Why not? It's not like it's like a big intense here. So Daniel DeGale says, I want to take a trip to Oregon. Okay, cool. The Oregon coast is, if you want to clear up your nasal passages, the Oregon coast is where it's at. I'll be honest, like Lincoln City, Newport, stuff like that. Yep. That's why I don't use C, not F. LOL. All right. Good to see everybody here. And I'm going to highlight that spot. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give some people who just joined and so on. Some people said to me, Max, you do recorded, but you don't do enough live quant coverage. And I was like, really? I think I do, but all right. So I just thought I'd do a brief one of what you're going to see on the recorded. And going to go ahead and share it right now in a way so you can basically see it. So let me see. All right. So there's this, and you know how we're talking about the whole thing with the Quant MIT connection. It's been going on for a while. Shout out to Quant Pop, who always provides great clips and so on. But there's so much here. So, for instance, straight from Gilbert Verdian, ODAP meetings are held each week, and he states we have separate meetings with MIT. It's going very well, and the scope of how it's going is basically huge. Real pleasure to work with the likes of MIT and companies that are part of IETF. And again, it kind of reiterates how they, meet and speak with MIT literally weekly. A little bit more in regards to this. So on our recorded video, we made that quant connection. We did report it originally from and gave credit to the Digital Pound Foundation in regards to that particular connection. showed evidence how this has been dating back to 2020. Showed evidence, for instance, of Gilbert Verdian's background, if you will, from his time with, for instance, the New York Federal Reserve. But anyway, look at this. It says Quant CEO and Digital Pound Foundation Director Gilbert Verdian is set to address global CBDC implementation at FT's Digital Assets Summit, which is next month. And look at this. You're going to have the Bank of Canada there, obviously MIT, and even Visa. You got to keep in mind. You have Gilbert Verdian, who actually did work. Who was it with? Either Visa or MasterCard or both. But I think it was MasterCard. And I think, if anything, he has a strong alliance or, strong bond with some big wigs, if you will, like CEOs of Visa. If you remember a while back, if you've been following this, he invited all those people, right, to that particular Zoom call to talk about a lot of things, what they're looking to solve, mainly in like 2023 and beyond. A little bit more in regards to this taste of what's going to be coming into the next quant recorded, because let's face it, we're really doing well with the quant coverage. It says, good to be back. It says, for instance, where we had many secure payment task force meetings. Again, this is dating back to kind of establish, or pound home, I should say, all their backgrounds. So this is a while ago, but it says, good to be back where we had some many secure payment task force meetings, great discussion. I mean, it's just, again, you already see countless times that great connection that they had, for instance, with the likes of the Fed or, the Boston, well, not Boston Fed, but you know what I mean. Go a little bit more further ahead. Here's this as well. So it says, we like what Visa has done, or have done, I should say, with offline CBDCs. It fits what the retail CBDC need. Yep. This is a new technology in space, and everyone is doing their bit to create it. We are laying the infrastructure for CBDCs and making CBDCs interoperable for wholesale and retail CBDCs, domestic and cross-border payments. Now, on top of that, we went further down. This was basically published day before yesterday from the Digital Pound Foundation, right? So it says the Boston Fed and MIT announced today that the Project Hamilton is now complete. The Open CBDC code base provides a resource to evaluate design choices and ensure that a potential future CBDC could serve the public's interest. Of course, we could read more about that, but that Open CBDC is to process 1.84 million transactions per second as Boston Fed MIT collab is complete. That is, think about that, per second, right? Pretty impressive. So I want to give you guys a taste of what's to come with another recorded quant, coverage and so on. Right now, I would say that's probably our biggest identity as far as our channel goes with our coverage on that. And we're doing really, really well with that. Can't thank you guys enough for that. We're going to go ahead and kick it back in the comments, and then we'll show you guys some more in regards to some other things, right? So we got some XRP for you, a brief update with XDC. I even have some Alliance block for you. And on top of that, I think I might have like something else. Some portfolio notes in regards to, for instance, like Polygon and so on. All right. So up next in the comments, we have a few more people, of course, that join us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on this Christmas Eve special with Crypto Talk Now. Demo Gaming says $BRL to the moon. All right. Thank you for joining us, Demo Gaming. Never seen you before. I'd like to, of course, welcome you. All right. Brian Dowie states, sorry, Tim, but might need Denver to lay an egg for my fantasy football team to make the finals. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I never got into fantasy football. I think I did fantasy basketball maybe 15 years ago. And then I don't know, I just never really got super into it. But I imagine it'd be a lot easier for football because you only have to really pay attention to like 3 times a week compared to, NBA, which is like every single day. But yeah, I'm sure it's a lot more enjoyable with football. Tim Shea says, did anyone watch the stream with Larry and Maria today? I forgot and did get a notification. That sucks. You don't get a notification. That has been a problem with YouTube in general. How I know that basically is you know, whether you guys are a fan of this person or not, I know it's kind of mixed. But Matthew Perry, no, not the actor, right? The crypto guy. I think he's from the Chicago area, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, he I guess he did like, you know, the whole thing where he puts the thumbnail out. I don't know if he uses Stream. I don't know what maybe he uses Streamlabs. I think he uses Streamlabs. But anyway, many people aren't getting the notifications. So what he's doing is like he's literally putting out multiple like tweets and stuff like that, letting people know. I of course put out a tweet, I think it was about half an hour before the show, at least letting people know, hey, join us in a half an hour. There's something funny with that, when it comes to you guys not getting the notification. That's the whole point, hitting the bell notifications for it to notify you. So at the same time, in the past, I think I mentioned that it's probably good that I, do it at least, I don't know, 12 hours, maybe a full day for you get the notification. I mean, it is kind of my fault, I guess you could say, on today's one was kind of last minute because I didn't really know if I was going to be on here for sure. I know that Larry got better and then he ended up getting invited to like a Christmas dinner. So it's understandable and so on. I guess I just don't have as much of a social life as he does, and so hence why I'm here. No offense, right? So I'm glad to be here though, and yeah, I did see part of that particular show. I thought it went pretty well, and it was nice to see that Maria was on, and it looks like she's doing pretty well in Dubai. So shout out to her. I even subscribed to her, her secondary channel about Dubai life. It looks really good. She has I think she upgraded her camera and went all out on it and so on. So shout out to Maria Anderson. I was not aware that if it's 1 o'clock my time, which is or not Pacific time, it's Mountain time. That is basically midnight where she's at. So that's crazy. It's like man, was that she's 11 hours ahead. That's crazy. Anyway, Tim Shea, Brian, they'll probably win then. Okay. You guys having a conversation about football. That's good. I don't know. I might get League Pass tomorrow because I wouldn't mind watching the NBA Christmas games. I usually always watch those, but I kind of like slashed a lot of things out of my budget that I just feel as though I don't need. You know what I mean? If I could stack more crypto. No, I'm kidding. Teachers don't make much money. You know how that goes. Unless you're a teacher back east, it's not too bad. Maybe I should move back east. I'm kidding. Anyway. Brian Dowie, 7-0 Denver is good with me. LOL. Huh. Brian Dowie states he gets notification for the 9 p.m. show half the time at best. Yeah, freaking YouTube. Anyway. All right. Mr. Vincent says, good to see them rocking it for the 3 p.m. Eastern shows. Yeah, if anything, what's his name? Stardog. I'm sure he would like that, watching from the UK. Because of the time difference, right? That wouldn't be too bad. That'll be like, you guys watching right now, right? All right. Got to kick it into the next part of our show here in a bit. I'm going to read this last one. Tim Shea says he's programmed to watch this show every day. Wow, that's awesome, man. I mean, I should say, wow, it's awesome. I mean, obviously you're doing it. Thank you. I used to be programmed to watch the early show too until he stopped doing it. Well, yeah. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's just, think about this: 2 live shows every day. Yeah, maybe we weren't doing as much as recording, not then. But I mean, if anything, I think we really ramped up everything. And I think he feels as though that like we're, the direction that we're going with all the momentum that we've been getting, that could be a good thing. But I told him, I was like, it's up to you. If you feel as though that's what you want to do, and go for it. But as far as us feeding the YouTube algorithm, I think we're definitely doing. I said, is there anything that we're not doing as far as the live, the recorded, and even the shorts? I mean, heck, we even put out a poll. So I mean, it's not like we're not feeding that YouTube algorithm monster that needs to be fed all the time, that eats like a horse, if you will. I'm not complaining. Just the reason I forgot. No, I know you're not complaining. And I do appreciate everybody who, of course, have watched in the past. I mean, it was really nice that you were programmed, as you would say, to watch the show every day. I know you watch a lot of shows, Tim. I mean, you really been, you and a few other people. I once in a while, like I'll see you guys like on other shows and so on. I mean, you might be wondering, well, why don't I take the time to, post a comment or whatever? It's just that, it's like I'm not necessarily watching. It's more like I'm listening and driving. And of course, I'm not gonna text and drive. So, but yeah, I see you guys in a few other shows and so on. And you guys are very, very active, very passionate about what you do and what you watch. And it's really cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share this next one for you guys. And it is from Coach JV. It's today. And here it is. He basically states, he says, they have distracted you as they pass the $1.7 trillion spending bill. America is bankrupt, and all the news is FTX, which is true. It still is, and it's going to be for a while. This is, way worse than anything from Enron or Bernie Madoff and so on, right? So it says they are distracting you as they set up the great financial reset, right? Basically quoting Klaus Schwab. So I'm going to play this. This was a little bit longer, but it's Christmas Eve. I mean, does it really matter? It's 3 minutes, and then we'll come back for some more commentary here in a bit.
As everybody's focused on the holidays and the FTX collapse is all over the news, they slipped in the $1.7 trillion spending bill. Let's take a little journey to understand, not understand, what this actually means. Let's put this into perspective. In 2022, our government spent $6.2 trillion. Now, to give you an aspect, that $6.2 trillion is more than we earned in our country. Therefore, that money needed to be borrowed. Now, as we head into one of the biggest economic collapses in our living history, we now passed a $1.7 trillion spending bill. So as you look this way as FTX, on December 23rd, as we go into the holidays, they passed the $1.7 trillion. Where do you think that money is going to come from? So it's either going to come from raising taxes or borrowing money. So our debt compared to our actual GDP in America is over 700% compared to around 1950s, which was around 280%. Our debt to income ratio, GDP to debt, is at 124%. And more money has been printed the last 24 months than in history. So our debt to income ratio is negative. We're borrowing $1.7 trillion. And now we're at a point in our country where our taxes are probably just paying for the interest on the money we borrow from foreign countries. As many countries are detaching from the petrodollar, de-dollarizing, the central banks are all stacking gold, pay attention, and most countries are working to launch a central bank digital currency. And is it ironic that ISO 20002 is now phasing in as all banks launch their blockchain technology? So if you know and you're an economist, comment right here. How can you fix this economy? 124% debt to income ratio. The debt in percentage to our GDP is at 700%. We just passed a $1.7 trillion spending bill that's going to need to be borrowed. You don't think there's a reason why they're stacking gold right now? We're going back to an asset-backed currency in a digital currency type of way. I told you guys, the economy is going to come collapsing down Q2, Q3, 2023. Interest rates are going to keep skyrocketing. They're going to try to cool inflation down to 2%. The dollar will start to cool down. We're going to see a lot of things with climate change. By 2025, you're going to see the biggest switch in your financial system. Pay attention. As you look this way, there's always another narrative going on this way. Warriors!
All right. Get your ish together, as he would say. Well, he doesn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. All right. So that was interesting. It was posted literally earlier today, and I thought, you know what? We got to have some fresh news. All right. Some of you guys follow this and so on. Some of you don't, and it's okay. All right. Going to the next comment. Mr. Michael Montclair is in the house. He says, happy holidays, cats, including apparently the cool cat. Good to see you, Michael Montclair. Glad to have you here tonight. Hopefully you're having a great holiday as well. Brian Dowie, regulators, mount up. Get your ish together. Yeah, it was a clear black night, a clear black moon. Mr. Brian Dowie and Tim Shade was trying to consume. Never mind, I'm not gonna do it. All right. Sigma says, hey, bro, have you checked out BRL, Bull Run Life? Steve of Rocket Crypto is the founder, crazy team behind it. Huh? Steve of Rocket Crypto. That was a big name. That was in the space a while back with Saitama. And I remember that whole exclusive interview with Rodney. That was something else back then. I haven't checked into it. I didn't even know it existed until you mentioned it. But thank you for that. Yeah, I may check it out just to see what's up with it and so on. But for the most part, I do try to avoid certain projects like that. The only one I'm probably going to get into is Volt. It'll probably be the last one that I get into in regards to meme related ones and so on. But that's just me. But thank you for sharing that. Tim Shea says Michael Montclair, hello. Basically, Crypto High is in the house. Good to see you, Crypto High. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas Eve, or depending on where the heck you're at, you might be even Christmas, right? So how I'm doing pretty good. I've been having a lot of crazy dreams lately. Mainly, I guess, about my childhood and stuff like that. I guess I apparently really miss it. And I don't know, just lots of dreams of playing basketball as of lately. It's really, really weird, especially with like friends from my childhood of all people. So doing pretty good. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Tim Shea, Sigma, isn't that the new BTFA project, Banana Task Force 8 project? Huh. John G is in the house straight from Nova Scotia. He says, hello, Max, Tim Shea, and all. Good to see you, John G. Merry Christmas to you. If you're on Atlantic Standard Time, if you're not Nova Scotia, geographically speaking, you are 4 hours ahead of me. Therefore, you are approaching Christmas in about a half an hour. So Merry early Christmas to you, but Merry Christmas Eve to everybody in that Atlantic Standard Time Zone, AST. So thank you for joining us, John. Michael Montclair says, I told this to my friends and got absolutely laughed at. Really? Huh. Like laughed at because you said happy holiday cats? Or you're telling them something else, like about crypto, or if it was, I will say this much, right? If it is about crypto, right? Think of how many people laugh about just anything and everything, right? But they never laugh about when they see things take off. If anything, they might give you a call. You know, it's like I remember before I got into like even like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu and stuff like that. I was mentioning like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting, I'm gonna do all right with this. I've been making some money. This is like on the rise up, right? And some people are like, oh, you don't want to get to that. That's just gonna be, you're just throwing your money away. It's just a big scam. You know what I mean? But what does everybody say, for instance, when Bitcoin went to 69K? Oh, I wish I would have bought some Bitcoin. Oh, I wish I would have bought it back in 2013 for $100. Or how about my case, right? I've actually known about Bitcoin since the likes of 2009 and 2010. Yeah. Whatever the case be, everybody's always, I wish I got into this, or wish I would have done that. Or how about this? Somebody that had the opportunity to get into Berkshire Hathaway back in the 1960s. Oh, I had the opportunity to get some Berkshire Hathaway. That's like well over $300,000 of stock. You know what I mean? There's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right. Daniel Gates in the house. He says, hello, everyone. Is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Oh, that's for Menelek. That's right. Good to see you, Daniel. You know, you guys ever notice Larry always does that? As soon as Menelek comes in, I don't even know if Menelek will be here tonight. He probably won't be. Let's face it. He's probably doing something else. But if in an off chance he ends up being here, can we all just do a favor? Do me a favor. All right. I don't ask for many Christmas presents. Can you guys do me a favor? As soon as you see Menelek and he says hello, say to him in the comments, hey, Menelek, it's you that we are looking for. And then put Lionel Richie. I don't know. Call it trolling. I just think it'd be fun. All right. Sigma. No, Tim, there's no affiliation with that project. Steve nor any of the devs have been part of Banana Task Force Ape. Huh, good info. We got some more comments in here. That's good. I mean, it's low tens because Christmas Eve. Daniel Gayton, Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Yep, same to you. Hopefully it goes well with you on that particular project. Let me see. Hop in the Telegram. Check this out. Okay. Typo. Hi, Cool Cat. Your day is good. Brian Dowie, too much spicy food, Max. Too much spicy food? I didn't have no spicy food. I don't know what you're talking about. I made spaghetti earlier today. I make really good spaghetti, by the way. I've never had any complaints about it. You know what I cannot stand is when people overcook their pasta, or people who just don't know what the heck they're doing when it comes to your pasta. So the way I look at it, when it comes to pasta, it's like a marriage between the sauce and your pasta, and it's like literally you can read on a box of pasta if you don't make your own and so on. What does it say? Don't rinse that thing off, right? You drain it, right? Drain, right? Or put it in the thing to just drain it, or a strainer, right? I see people like taking water and washing off all that, like the yeast and stuff like that. It's like, what are you doing? How is that going to cling to your pasta sauce? So then they put pasta sauce on it and it's just falling off. And then they wonder why their pasta and their spaghetti or whatever, it has no flavor. It's like, no, it's designed to do just that. It's the perfect marriage of sauce and pasta. People make fun of me because I take a pasta noodle and I throw it literally on the side of the cupboard or whatever. And I'm like, clings to it, right? If it sticks to the wall, it's sticking to the sauce. It's done. I cook it al dente. And that's just the way I love it. But I don't know. Did I say something earlier? I don't know. That made you say that. That's all right. All right, Michael Montclair, about the gold standard returning in XRP. Yeah, that's what he's referring to. I mean, think all the nations stacking the gold, right? There's a reason for it. Tim Shea, Michael, not everyone wants to hear about crypto. Right now is a great time for newbies to dip their toe in. So it's too bad they don't listen. And there always will be people like that. Like, for instance, I have a good friend. He's a younger guy. He's about, I don't know, he's in his early 20s. I mean, I remember one time I took a screenshot on my phone of my portfolio after like Shiba Inu went up to all-time highs. The rate I was cashing out. And, it said like 100,000 plus or so on. And then he was just like, oh, that's cool. Well, I just still won't ever get into crypto because I don't believe in it. It's like, okay, teach his own. But anyway, hold on a second. Brian Dowie says, they say you have crazy dreams when you eat spicy food. Sorry, just a stupid saying. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. I didn't know the reference. No, it's fine, man. No need to be sorry, my friend. All right, Tim Shea, Brian, I knew where you were going with that. Oh, you know what? I'll say this much. Let me just highlight that again. So virus and threat protection. Oh, the stupid thing or whatever. All right. I'll say this. So where was I at? Yeah. So you remember Burger King a few years ago came out with the Nightmare Whopper, where it was, and they were saying basically like, you want to eat it right before you go to bed. Well, think about that in itself, how unhealthy that is for one. But for me, yeah, I try not to eat something like super greasy or something that's gonna be hell on my stomach. Like for me, there's no way in heck I could eat like um a bunch of cheesecake or like a bunch of Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah, like I have this weird thing. It's like almost an allergy to a sense. So if I eat a bunch of like Reese's peanut butter cups right before I go to bed, I'm gonna be sick, But if I eat that like earlier in the day, I'm okay. But yeah, anyway, I don't eat anything super greasy and then just go to bed because for one, that's just not good for me. But I get what you're saying. Like if I did that though, I would have nightmares. I probably had the worst nightmares that like we're talking like demonic stuff, where I've had ones just like I'm out in the woods or something. I had this one, I kid you not to mention Klaus Schwab, a bad reference. I had this one real bad where I was at a friend's house or something like that and had like a lot of really good food. And I was just like super, super tired. And I was just like, oh man, I guess I'll crash here or something. And then anyway, I had like the worst nightmare ever. I was in the Black Forest of Germany and like I was it was just really, really dark. And then there was this old abandoned house and then like it got knocked off its foundation or something like that. And like this psycho monster thing was after me and it was just I forgot I don't know what the heck it was, but it was like he just kept coming at me and coming at me and and then in the dream I'm like, what kind of dream is this? Where's my damn rifle? Where's my Mossberg 500? Because I have that stuff and I didn't have any of that. I'm like, I'm like so frustrated and mad, and this thing's coming at me. And my stomach is killing me, and I can't do nothing about it. And I guess I was like yelling, screaming in the dream. And then my best friend woke me up. He's like, what the heck is going on, man? And I'm like, oh, it's because all this food you gave me, man. I'm like, I can't help it. He's like, well, you didn't have to eat it all. I'm like, well, it's so delicious. And anyway, off the kilter, off the subject. It was a really bad. After that happened, I was like, I don't want any more dreams like this ever again. I'm never going to eat like that before going to sleep, ever. So, yeah. Tim Shea. Brian, I knew you were going with that. Okay. Tim Shea says, Max, throw that pasta on. Yeah, man. If I ever meet some of you guys in the future, you want me to make you some pasta? I can make some really freaking good pasta. I'm not even playing. Everybody loves my pasta because you know what? My main thing is you got to have great ingredients. And I put a lot of what I do first actually is I saute some mushrooms and butter. All right. And then I get just right. Right. Let that all the flavors kind of just come together. And then from there, I cook my hamburger, the meatballs and all that. So good. And then from that, I take two different sauces, right? I take this one, it's kind of like a ragu traditional style, if you will, like an old world style. And then I have another one where it's a mushroom sauce, right? But it's also got some fresh green bell peppers mixed in it. Put some salt and pepper, put some garlic salt in that, mix that all together, then blend it all in, cook it, then make sure that while it's cooking, I have my pasta, a big old cauldron of that thing, the water boiling, put some salt in that, mix it around, let it come to a boil. Then I take my angel hair pasta, even better than thin spaghetti, and I freaking dump that in there. And then it's all, boiling and whatnot, uncovered, of course. I stir it around because you don't want the pasta to stick, together and have big old clumps. And mix that around. Make sure it's still boiling. 4 minutes. That's it. 4 minutes. Some cases only 3. All right. But 3 to 4 minutes. All right. Then you see, there's a certain type of look. And that certain type of look, it's a nice, fresh, even look. And that look is al dente. You take a couple of those darn pasta noodles and you just throw them on the wall. And if it sticks, then you see yourself, it's done. It's going to clean to my sauce. It's going to be heaven. But guess what? And it's more heaven. It's when it's leftovers for tomorrow because it's been marinating in your refrigerator. And then when you go to eat it the next time, so much better because all the juices and all that butter and all that mushrooms and all that flavor just tastes that much better. Maybe I should make a cooking channel. Anyway. Daniel Gayton, Max, I agree. Do not rinse. And why do people do that? It even says on the thing, like even if you don't make your own pasta, right? It says on the box, do not rinse. But people do it anyway. It drives me crazy. All right, Brian Dow, I always agree. Toss the pasta on the wall and never rinse it. Yes, thank you guys. You guys know what you're doing. Mushrooms do the same thing. Yes. John G, great funny Christmas song, YouTube. Grandma got run down. Yeah, Grandma got ran down by a reindeer. Okay. Tim Shea says, do you slice the garlic razor thin? Once in a while. I think that's a good thing to do. Let's see. Crypto high. Thanks. Now I'm hungry again. I am too. I'll probably get some more pasta later. But here's the thing, right? So I got to make some New Year's resolutions. Do you know if you eat a whole thing of spaghetti, like a whole plate of spaghetti, that has probably the most highest calorie content of anything you can eat. So it's like, if I made a habit of eating spaghetti every day, I mean, I'll probably look like the Max that first started Crypto Talk Now back in April when I was like, you could keep the XRP. I want the baby. Yeah, I seen my old videos then. I'm like, oh my God, man. I lost about 30 pounds since then. So I still have a lot of weight to lose, but man, I was looking at some old videos back before I even had the green screen and so on. I was like, oh my gosh, man, I was really, really huge. So, all right. Tim Shea, Brian Classic. Yeah, Daniel. Crap, now I have to eat. Yeah, I made all you guys hungry for chocolate fudge and Christmas stuff, right? Yeah. All right. Enjoyable Lifestyle says you have to make a cooking show. Thanks. I was really thinking about, the last time I made a steak, it was just like, it was just a really good steak. And I was thinking to myself, so many people probably just want to make like a nice indoor steak. They don't want to go outside, freeze their butt off. Or if you're in Phoenix like me in the summertime, you never cook outside in the summertime because you're literally going to you're gonna have a heat stroke, right? So I have one of these Ninja Foodie grills. Here I am. Thanks for tuning in to Crypto Talk Now with your sponsor, Ninja Foodie Grill, proudly presented by nobody. No, we don't have no sponsor or anything like that. In the future, we'll have a sponsor. But yeah, I was thinking about that. But you know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna eventually get back to doing some videos on my DPGmaximus YouTube channel, my gaming channel, because it's like I put a lot of hard work into that for like a couple years, and then I haven't put out a single video for that in a while. But if anything, my focus has been here. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know what? I can do like game reviews and so on. And the main reason why I stopped making videos over there is because I just felt like I had to hit a grand slam every time. Otherwise, people won't watch my videos. You know, like it's like really high expectations. So you do something like, you know, kill half of the enemy team, right? I went and bombed half the enemy team, 16 kills. I think that's like a world record or something, Battlefield 5. So I went over there, dropped like all this TNT on all, you know, like the German team. It's just like, and all these Nazis like, you know, Einspellista, alarm, alarm, you know, running for their lives, and you know, bombs all dropping on them. I'm like, yeah, that's right, get owned by the Allied forces. But anyway, then the expectation is, oh, this guy's Max is going to keep doing it. You know how hard it is to bomb 16 krauts on a bombing run like that? It's not like I do it all the time. So anyway. Brian Dowie, CTN is now Cooking Talk. Yes. Hello, welcome to Cooking Talk Now. My name is Max. On today's show, we're going to have some mushroom pie. I'm basically going to take lots of mushroom. I'm going to saute them in butter, and then I'm going to put them in the bloody blanket. You're not going to have pigs in the blanket. You're going to have mushrooms in the blanket. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. No, I don't think so. All right. Daniel Degas, thoughts on Chainlink? I just went from Cooking Talk Now to thoughts on Chainlink. Well, thoughts on Chainlink basically are, I don't have a lot of thoughts on Chainlink at the time, because the last time I reported about it was a few months ago, and I think it's solid, don't get me wrong, but like I mentioned before, the main issue I have with Chainlink is just doesn't trend enough, in my humble opinion. Now in the bull run, maybe, but we didn't see that too much last bull run. That's the only worries I have. But again, if they have a few more positive catalysts, a few more deals and so on, something that really is going to stand out, then yeah, there could be some real nice upside potential. I think if anything, long term, multiple years out, it'd be fine. But technically speaking, there's quite a few other ones that are like that too, like ADA and so on. All right. Glenn Allen says, good evening and Merry Christmas. Thank you, Glenn Allen. I haven't seen you here before. I'd like to welcome you. Brian Dowie's laughing. Well, good. It's all about the mushrooms. Yes. Crypto High, mushroom in the blanket sounds good. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm glad to have a little bit of fun here because, you know, it is Christmas Eve. And if people are really going to be like, you know, dang it, bloody Maximus, this is a Crypto Talk Now. I tuned into your channel to learn about quant. You're always talking about bloody quant. And then you come into your bloody live channel and here you are doing this bloody. This is not Crypto Talk Now. You're talking about cooking. Well, guess what? I may need a break too. I'm not even supposed to be scheduled to do this show today. So how about that? Thank you. All right. So let's get into more of our crypto coverage, right? So let's see here. We already covered Coach JV. Next, we have this whole thing with not Swift. Hold on a second. I think it's XDC. Yep, it's XDC. So let's get right into it. So let's see here. We got the one with XDC. Here it is. Joshua Roomsberg does do a really good job of continuously covering XDC. I'll say that much. I hate to use this analogy. Well, I don't really hate it, but it's a fair analogy, right? So, for instance, you got Crypto Lulu, you got, for instance, Coach JV, right? 3-2 Warriors Academy, right? 100,000 plus subscribers and so on. But Joshua Roomsberg, if anything, he kind of reminds me of that kind of, you know, way of covering a project, but he does it with XDC. And so, highly recommend you guys follow him. Look at that. I mean, 300,000, right? Founder, CEO of Chainlink. Right, he covers XDC, GBEX, like some of you guys talk about. He even covers Crow. No Cool Cat Crypto. I don't think Crow's going to zero, and I don't think Binance is either. But that's where we agree to disagree, my friend. All right. So he says the XTC network has reached 300 active nodes on the network. Hey, good credit where credit's due. He's flexing. Bravo, right? Congratulations to the XTC community. Regards to GBEX, it says the Globians community has also contributed to a variety of just that, those particular nodes, right? So it says great day of the growth for the XTC network. I'll blow this up a little bit. Screenshots or it didn't happen, according to what fellow PC gamers say, right? If you're a PC gamer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there it is. There's a screenshot. On top of that, look at all of that. Oh, so nice. All right. So I wanted to point that out. On top of that, next part of the news, right? So ALBT. Yeah, ALBT. Nice to see some news about ALBT, right? So I am going to do probably a record with this, but I'll give you guys, a taste of what's to come and so on. So this was posted on 22nd. We did cover the whole thing about that Nexera smart wallet. If you haven't checked it out, you might want to do that, right? They're really going to stand out with that. That's some really cool technology, to say the least. But check it out for yourself right here. The Nexera protocol is a groundbreaking solution for creating mutable and composable NFTs called meta NFTs, which are more flexible, scalable, and extensible. A quick introduction, of course, to the Nexera protocol. We'll get into that in just a moment. I want to state this real quick. So here was the thing that was so impressive to me when I was doing the short review and even the deep dive when it came to Nexera's, the particular smart wallet and so on. I like the idea that it's really protecting your assets in that particular wallet and so on. So if anybody tries to even, I guess, if you got a whiff of something bad going on, they give you an actual NFT, right? And if anything, you can. By I think the third step, if you will, like if it really gets far, like this guy's really close to, I don't know, stealing your crap or whatever, you could basically say, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna put an extra layer of protection on it, so a lot more than just two-form authentication. I'm gonna bust out this unique NFT that only I have. It's not just a JPEG, right? It has like an actual huge hash behind it, if you will, right? It's unique to me. I'm the only one that has it. And then I'm going to say, slap that sucker down and say, basically, burn this. Again, the utility of that particular NFT. It kicks in. And then if anything, these guys don't have access to your crap. Like I should say your crap, your assets. But it just made sense. I was really impressed with it. So they had this quick introduction, and of course, I'm not going to do like the long introduction of it because that'll be for a particular recorded. But again, I just want to give you an example of what this is all about and so on. But I will show you guys just a little bit here. So it says meta NFTs are third generation NFTs that can have both mutable data and metadata. Mutable data and metadata significantly extend their capabilities and allow them to evolve dynamically with their properties or new properties and restrictions over time. And it kind of gives you a breakdown of how that works. Remember, we were talking about the whole thing with the NFTs. Well, look at this. It says this versatility allows NFTs to be used in a far wider range of applications. For example, it says art pieces that evolve with new properties over time, games where players can influence the game world, and number 3, digital collectibles that can grow and change as they are cared for, just to name a few. This other thing where it connects all this, it says this can extend to financial solutions where meta NFTs represent asset-backed loans and investment opportunities. This is really cool that Alliance Block has this. So it says the properties can be changed depending on on-chain and off-chain information. A single meta NFT can represent these use cases simultaneously and adapt for future use cases. I want to blow this part up. So for instance, number 1, it says user splits and meta NFT, right? Before that happens, right, you have, for instance, you have the ZK verified ID, tokenized art fraction. You have to keep in mind it does use ETH where you're a fan of it and whatnot. But look at this meta NFT, ape ID. You know what I mean? Kind of like a little bit of the breakdown I was mentioning before. And then it shows the various steps of how this all works. So you get to part number 2, wrap NFT fractalization. Look at all this stuff. So for instance, like, if you don't want to give too much of a KYC, if you will, we cover this in the particular recorded. Basically speaking, You can decide, hey, I just want to tell them that, let's say you are under 21, like you're between ages 18, 21. So you're like, I don't know, 20, right? You don't have to specifically give your birthday away, because if anything, it's like there's things that make sense with KYC, but also at the same time, it's protecting you, but not, and also empowering you to decide what you want to do with your data. You're not just giving all your data away. And then if anything, if somebody tries to jack your stuff, what's going to happen is you have that unique, again, NFT, and you can slap that sucker down and burn it. And then if anything, you can get issued a new one that again is unique to you. It's just kind of like common sense NFTs, if you will, but ones that make sense because it has the utility behind it. I'm very, very impressed with everything they have with all of this, especially with Nixera. I think Nixera, if anything, is really, really going to help ALBT. And then the last major pump with ALBT, it was right around that time about that particular smart wallet technology. So just thought I'd share that out. We'll do more of a recorded video for that. But if anything, I want to kick it back in the comments. And let's see here. Who is next? All right. Tim Shea says, Brian, I knew where you're going with that. All right. Tim Shea says, Max, throw the apostle on. All right. Yeah, I already read some of this stuff. My bad. Let me go further down. Let's see here. Yeah, my bad. I lost my spot. I usually try to highlight it, but sometimes it gets clicked off for some reason. Mushroom blends. Yep, that was good. You're right. Somewhere Ricky is crabbing. Wow. ALBT, baby. Yep, all the way. Shaka's in the house. Ooh, gotta do it. Check a con. Check a con. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I gotta do it. All right. Shaka says, what up, everyone? I'm on the way to work. I just jumped in to say Merry Christmas. On the way to work. I hope they're paying you like double or triple time and a half, my friend. I really, really hope that. But good to see you, Shaka. Merry Christmas to you, man. And God bless you for working on, Christmas. All right. Tim Shea says, Daniel, I was going to say ALBT to Sean, aka the Crypto Smith, but you beat me to it. Huh. Fair enough. All right. So I'm gonna share this last part with you guys. It is in regards to some of these particular notes. Like Biggie said back in the day, relax and take notes. All right. So here we go. This comes straight from Investor Place. This was posted today. So if you're in the graph like myself, it says they have announced it is launching on Arbitrum. Arbitrum, if you're wondering, is a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum that significantly reduces fees and improves the network's throughput. Arbitrum and other ETH layer 2s have been growing in popularity, and the graph's latest proposal details how the network will operate on both Arbitrum and Ethereum directly. This means users of the graph can feel their GRT bounce more easily than before. GRT, of course, is the ticker symbol for the graph. As you guys know, I got into the graph again. Basically, I think back in, I don't know, the beginning of this month or late November. I can't remember. Polygonmatic. Let's face it, most of us are in Polygonmatic. ZK EVM is getting closer to launching. Think about this. When it does, it's going to be, the magic moment for Polygon. I think it's going to be huge. I think if anything, when that's done, you're going to see a really nice pump on, to the upside for Matic. It says the final testnet before mainnet deployment is here. That's interesting. Polygon has shared some network analysts showing weekly active wallets increase over 13% thanks to DeFi decentralized apps, and revenue per day is, listen to this, up 55% to 63,800. Not too shabby. Last on the particular notes, because I'm not going to do Tezos. I don't think many of you guys are into Tezos, but maybe in the future. Don't get me wrong, Tezos ain't bad. I think maybe Wadi was mentioning Tezos. But anyway, it says Uniswap gives users the ability to on-ramp directly to DeFi, right? Pretty cool. Individuals can bypass centralized exchanges and utilize the Uniswap web app with MoonPay integration to buy crypto with a card that can instantly be used on the platform. Now, the next part I want to get into is, for instance, the overall market. So I did see a few things on the top 100, nothing like super significant or anything like that. But I do want to point out that Kronos is no longer in the fives; it's now in the sixes. They're up slightly. Um, I feel as though helium is still a buy. It's up about close to 12% for the 7-day chart, still below $2. I'm looking to probably pick up another bag of that. But that was the main ones I was looking into. Quant deserves a mention. They're now down to 105, 106. A lot of worry about this dropping down below 100. And some people feel as though they could go down to 80. And if it does, then I'll buy, basically probably get 2 quants at minimum. That's just me. So yeah, I want to point out some of that. Here's a particular watch list. Hold on. So here's what's going on the 24-hour. I do hold Bezoge. It was one of those meme coin slash MMORPG type games. You got to keep in mind, the Bezoge brothers, right? You got into Shiba Inu, made a fortune, made their own game, and so on. But anyway, I thought to myself, oh, I'll pick up a little bit of this. I don't have a lot, but I do have a bag of it. I got it I don't know, sometime in 2021. But yeah, it's up about 17%. Devour is up about 7.34%. I don't know. Maybe I'm at break even for Devour right now. Shebex is up 5.26%. Maybe some of you guys are into that. Bone, right, of the Shiba swap, the Shiba Inu ecosystem, that's up 3.88%. Nothing too significant, right? All right. As far as what's on sale, quite a few things. This, of course, is the V1 of Clifford Inu. Do not get into Clifford Inu. I'll say that many times. Don't get into that. But anyway, yeah, some of these ones, a lot of them are meme coins and so on. But XSwap, you guys are into XSP. Looks like that might be a decent price. But nonetheless, that one is sitting at 0.00053343. And Stratos, we talk about that quite a few times already, right? Shout out to XXI Gaming for introducing it. That is currently at 60 cents, about 4.5% drop. But on the 7-day chart, really stands out. It was up 18.46%. A worthy mention, of course, is FTX's FTT token. It's down to 93 cents. But in reality, this is probably going to go way further down. FTT has no utility at the time being because of all the crap that's happened. I did a recent recorded video. Check it out. It was released this morning in regards to LCX. It's a deep dive review. In fact, I'll just pull up our YouTube here for just a second. So hold on a second. All right. So check this out in the video section. There it is, LCX. It's doing pretty well. I mean, for the first video that we covered on it, it's at close to 500 views. A lot of people are commenting and so on, but it says first physical worldwide validator. Of course, they labeled it as first physical validator in Liechtenstein, and then of course and worldwide. For the most of us, we want to hear about the worldwide. It's a really long deep dive, but I tried my best to cover everything that really stood out for me. But that is the key thing about that first physical worldwide validator. There's a reason why it's significant. And if anything, when you've seen some of this recent price action, it's in reflection of that. This is something that has been worked on for LCX dating back to 2019. In that particular deep dive, I get into the nitty gritty of why that's significant and show you guys, for instance, how long it's been taken, show you the original article about, for instance, straight from the LCX site of how they've been developing it, the introduction of it, basically where it's at now, the whole shebang. So some of the other videos, of course, are doing well. Is the quant coverage that we have. Like this last one's up to 1.8 1,800 views. The other one before that, about the Banque de France, 1,400. Of course, this other one almost at 3,000 views and so on. I was talking to you guys about the ALBT in regards to the next air ID. Highly recommend taking a look at it. Take a look at XDC's MetaMask killer, right? BlocksPay, that's currently in beta. Looking forward to seeing when that's got a public release and so on. But last but not least, Larry's been doing a lot with the shorts. His last short about Jim Cramer did pretty good. I mean, that was, I think, literally today or yesterday he posted that, 1,300 views. Some of these other ones, it's kind of like fish in a barrel, if you will, but he's been really doing good with it. This other one, Bitcoin retail, about 600 views. Every time he does one about Dogecoin, it seems to do pretty well. 1,100 on the last one, Bitcoin Wells. So, I mean, he's been doing pretty well. I mean, for him to come out with a, under 15-second, right, short, and me to do a deep dive, it's kind of like, in a way, I'm kind of jealous, right? Like, not really, you know what I mean? I'm glad, because we're both working together trying to get a lot more exposure to crypto talk now. But we're up to 8,520 plus subscribers, and who knows, man? I mean, if we could somehow get to 9,000 by the new year, I know that's quite a task, but that'd be really, really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get back into the comments. And let's see here. We have Glenn Allen. What's your thoughts on BRL? I don't have any thoughts on BRL because I simply am not aware of it. I'm aware of, for instance, B-Rise, but not BRL. Defendable, XLM or XDC, and why? Both. That's my answer on that. So when it comes to the ISOs, it's basically XRP and Quant are almost like tied for number one for me. A lot of people don't feel the same way, and that's okay. So yeah, it's maybe a little bit more of an edge on XRP because what I see what's coming up soon. So it's literally XRP, Quant, which is literally tied for like first. Then right after that, it's XLM. I doubled my position recently in XLM. And then my fourth would be XDC. Now, as far as why, XLM, I see it being, for instance, just as significant as XRP as far as the cross-border payments, right? So we're always talking about cross-border payments. Oh, man, people are probably getting tired of hearing about it, but so what? So in regards to the new monetary system, right? What's going to be so significant is I feel as though that the market cap of all crypto, when we go to CMC and so on, we see, for instance, even last year's, the end of that bull run where we had 3 to 4 trillion global market cap and so on. The utility run, you probably heard this before. So that utility run is going to trigger, in my opinion, the bull run. How's that first start? Happens with the likes of Quant, especially XRP and XLM, but XRP and XLM especially. So as we know, with XRP, the cross-border payments, that on-demand liquidity, right? The bank-to-bank payments, if you will, right? That really stands out. Now for XLM, what stands out is, for instance, the cross-border payments as well, but a little bit more on the retail side of things. As we know, with Ripple, you don't have the retail side of things. They made it clear. So with Stellar's XLM, you have the peer-to-peer / retail adoption, if you will. And then what they bring to the table, especially, all the connections with MoneyGram, you name it, right? So those two, top of my list, right? I should say 3 with Quant. And then with XDC, I still feel as though it's the most underrated of the ISOs, most undervalued as well. We talked about it many times. The whole thing with R3 quarter is massive. Do more of your own research, look more into it, and so on. You want to learn more about that. We've covered it here, especially in our recorded videos and so on. You can follow me on Twitter. I literally give you guys, for instance, graphs, all sorts of things that show that particular I should say graphs, but graphics, I should say, that break down the significance of the R3 quarter bridge with XDC. On top of that, everything that XDC is doing as far as being a military grade blockchain, blockchain 4.0, if you will. On top of that, for instance, the ecosystem, you compare it, for instance, to the likes of Ethereum, right? Forget about 2,000 transactions per second on the TPS. As far as, gas fees, if you will, right? You're looking at literally the price of a Luna Classic token at 0. Actually cheaper than a Luna Classic token. I didn't even think about that. So 0.4 zeros and a 1, technically speaking. Luna Classic is 0.3 zeros and a 1, right? So even cheaper than a Luna Classic token. Are you kidding me? Tons of different use cases, lots of upside potential, and also, come on, ISO 222. I don't know why XDC is not on most people's short list for the ISOs. It needs to be, right? So it's my fourth ranked one on my particular list. Hopefully that answers your questions. Look more into our recorded content. We do cover XDC quite a bit. We give you guys updates, so on. We try to do XLM as much as we can, but when it comes to XLM, it's usually grouped together with some of the other ones because for whatever reason, it's just really hard to get even community-driven news on XLM as well as mainstream news on it as well. So it's, when we can get it, we get it out to you. But XDC, they had the proposal which passed about a month or so ago for XDC community. They do AMAs quite often. So yes, XDC, you want to hold both. Don't have the attitude that you can only get one. At those price lows, you should be able to get both. XLM is more than affordable right now. It's roughly about 7 to 8 cents. XDC sitting at around 2.5 cents. All right. Brian Downey, both are great. Why not both? Yep. Literally took the words right out of my mouth. Thanks, Brian. Boom. Right back at you, bro. All right. XLM or Algo. I recently got into Algo. Algo was the last of the ISOs. I was really hoping it was kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news for me. I have to admit, right? Chili's and Algo. I was thinking, on it'd be a nice swing trade, if you will. I was in it for both swing trading and also my long term. So I had a bag for short-term swing trade and also, like a moon bag, as the saying goes, in regards to my Algo. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to go with XLM because I see what's coming, for instance, after March 20th with the start of that ISO 2022 mandate, if you will. XRP, XLM really stand out to be the first, right? You get that utility run, and then after that happens, I think the other ISOs are going to be affected. That, of course, will trigger the utility run, and then from a utility run, we get into a bull market for the overall crypto market and so on. Because to me, that makes sense. It starts off with the ISOs. But don't get me wrong, that's not me fudding Algo. I think there's a lot of upside potential for Algo. I know that the price is way down compared to where it was. But if anything, maybe I pick up a second bag of Algo. There's a lot of good ones. Let me state this, all right? A lot of people feel as though, well, I'm not going to buy anything because I want the bottom. You also got to keep in mind, for some projects, you're already at bottom, right? Some there isn't. It's just, again, that's my whole thing. Having a portfolio like on the likes of CMC or whatever you use, right? I like CMC. To me, it's easy. I don't like the politics, but anyway, have your portfolio, then have a watch list. And then if you've been paying attention to certain prices for the longest time, you will already have a good idea about which ones kind of have that sideways consolidation. Here's a perfect example, right? VET. For the longest time, that was above 2 cents. They broke support. Now they're down into the, was it 1.8 cents or something like that, right? Obviously they broke support. Zilliqa is another one, right? Broke support. They're no longer at 2 cents. They're under a penny. So you kind of have an idea of which ones are like kind of holding the test of time through this bear market. There's ones that are, obviously bottom is not in clearly, right? But just don't have the attitude, you hear this, especially if you're new to crypto, that, all these guys are saying that the bottom isn't in. True, on the overall market, the bottom isn't in, but there is certain cryptos that should be part of your watch list, whether it's ISOs and so on, in which you should recognize, hey, you know what? This thing broke support. Maybe I should DCA into this. Why? Well, 2 reasons. Yeah, you could listen to the other side that says, no, man, the bottom isn't in. Okay. Do they know for sure? And number 2, it ain't going to hurt you to DCA into some of these. Not financial advice, but that's just what I'm personally doing. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. All right. Tim Shea, thank you, Brian. Quant or HBAR? Man, you got some great questions. Quant. I am going to do an HBAR video. That got the most amount of votes. We did a poll, and I think it was like 75, 80 people voted on it. And then HBAR won. So I'm going to have to go with Quant. I do get it that you can load up a heck of a lot more HBAR than Quant, but I'm looking at Quant as being our second chance at Bitcoin, if you will, but a lot better than Bitcoin because it has real utility. And if anything, it has, for instance, a less circulating supply. And it's the network of networks. It was literally connecting anything and everything, making everything interoperable at scale that nobody else is doing. I'm looking at that these guys are basically the innovators of Web3 and beyond, right? And they're creating, or they're not just creating, they already have created, they provide that financial software operating system, right, for the financial sectors of the world. And the value of what that's going to be worth is tremendous. So that's just the way I look at it. Also, on top of that, before the start of last summer, quant was roughly in the $40-$45 range. And of course, we saw it, was it past 200? Yeah, the prices pulled back and so on. But literally crashed down to 80, and I'll just pick up that much more. But thank you for that. Brittany says, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Brittany. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Tim Shea saying hello to Brittany. And Daniel Gate and Max going to lay it down. Everyone have a great night. Be safe. Thank you. Yep. Merry Christmas. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas from Salamander, the XDC Commander. Good to see you, Salamander. Defendable. XRP is R3 Corda. Not XDC, though. No. Look into it yourself. R3 Corda. There's XDC. You want me to pull it up? I'll pull it up for you. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I'm not talking out of the side of my mouth. I do my own research. That's okay. So here we go. Let me share this with you. There we go. This is why R3 Corda XDC network bridge is so freaking massive, right? This is a while back, right? This is R3 Corda now has a bridge to public blockchains with arrival of Ethereum-based XDC. Former RBS bankers from blockchain startup LAB 577 built the bridge. This was posted all the way back on March 30th of 2021. For instance, from Impel, R3 Corda to XDC network bridge. Notice it doesn't say XRP, XDC, right? Allowing digital assets to be used for instant settlement among core dApps. On top of that, straight from the XDC site, I'm not making this up, right? R3 Corda now has a bridge to public blockchains with arrival of Ethereum-based XDC. There it is on bottom. XDC networks spearheads blockchain 4.0, et cetera, et cetera. Then the icing on the cake, there it is, the massive R3 Corda bridge. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay. If you're looking at it from the perspective of does R3 connect to Ripple's XRP? Yes, it does. But to say that, the R3 Corda bridge to XDC isn't there, I'm sorry, that's just not correct. And I don't mean no disrespect. Okay. I'm just, if you're saying that it's not there, then I hope this helps you, because if anything, that bridge with XDC it's beyond massive. I look this up for yourself. If anything, if you're on Twitter, you can follow me. I would love to, you can retweet this and so on. More people need to know about this because R3 in itself, and especially that XDC bridge, is really, really massive. Don't get me wrong. I would never downplay that connection with XRP and so on, right? But what really stands out is definitely the R3 Corda bridge with XDC. All right. Thank you for that, though. All right. Next up, Brian Dowie. Brian Dowie says, Merry Christmas, Salamander and Brittany. Defendable basically says, my top, XLM, XDC, XRP. Cool. Those are some really good choices. XRP is too overrated. Tell me why. I would like to know, why do you feel XRP is overrated? I mean, because the way I look at it is on-demand liquidity is not overrated. For instance, if you have banks, the current problem with the SWIFT system is banks don't really want to sign up every day to transfer, 10, 20 trillion dollars cross-border or overseas to other banks in the world because they're going to get slapped with huge fees. For $10 trillion is roughly $60 billion fee. For one, it's going to take not just a few hours. It could take literally maybe a day or more for that transfer. Then there's the security risk of getting hacked while that's going on. Think about it. If you're a hacker, you have all day long to take maybe a portion of that money, right? It's a lot easier to hack something like that and hack the living crap out, like almost like a DDoS attack, than it is compared to having Ripple's on-demand liquidity, which, by the way, is going to save banks not just billions, but maybe even trillions of dollars in the long run, and then have that being accessed and those transactions go through roughly 3-4 to 30 seconds finalization, less fees. That on-demand liquidity, it's going to be massive. But anyway, would love to hear what you got to say about why it's overrated. Really, I would. I always listen to the other side of the argument. We have a saying here, don't, like it says in the guidelines. I don't know why people don't read or listen to these guidelines. You know who you are, all right? Guidelines specifically say, don't attack the messenger, attack the argument. Right. But for whatever reason, especially on the holidays, people don't want to pay attention to that. It's beyond me. Anyway, but I would love to hear the other side of how you feel about it. Don't get me wrong. I have a friend, good childhood friend. He's very anti-Ripple. He don't care. He will not listen to any debate of what I have for it and so on. He's on, he's like, yeah, man, what they did, the whole thing with the SEC. And it's just like, I don't know. Teach his own. All right. Salamander XTC is C for me. How XRP? Yeah, how is it overrated? All right, Demo Crypto. Can you pull up the BR? No, I cannot because I don't know what it is. Sorry. Defendable. I'm not dismissing, man. I don't know what it's about. You know what I mean? Maybe I could look into it. Maybe there's 20,000, 21, 22,000 different projects. That's just the way I look at it. If you could tell me what stands out for BRL, that's what I want to know. And then from there, if there's other people that feel as though like, yeah, man, Max, you need to get on the BRL chain, then we can look into it. But I mean, I don't know what BRL is. Sorry, defendable XRP, you buy a decent bag. That one is a never sell, pass it on to your kids and grandchildren. Okay, but you just got through saying it was overrated. All right, sorry, man, I'm just saying. All right, Menelec, hello and Merry Christmas. Hello, Menelect. Is it me you're looking for? Lionel Richie. All right. Yeah, Menelec, where you been? Celinda Anderson's in the house. Thank you for joining us. You were correct. Vet and Zill are crazy low. Yes, they are. I would totally agree. They broke support. Those are absolute buys at this point. Brian Dowie, especially, I would say this, especially Zilliqa compared to its all-time highs, right around the announcement of Metopolis, which I covered originally. So it hit a all-time high of, I think, about 23 cents, 24 cents. And that was back on April, right? Back in April. And for it to be basically under 2 cents, I mean, for when we get into a bull run, I just think that's a really good return on investment. That's just me personally, not financial advice. Like we've been looking for you. That's great. Quant is the operating system of the future. QFS. Edward Vincent, Max, great advice. Also, add on the fact you don't have to buy an entire quant when you do the DCA. There you go. Yes, you don't. Like maybe buy half of one, right? So if you can't afford a full one, like right now it's it's a 105. Let's say it drops to 100. Buy half a quant, DCA into it until you get a full one, and then so on and so forth. You got to do what you got to do, especially like, it's Christmas time right now. You probably are like really stretched. A lot of people are stretched then. Not all of us are like millionaires and whatnot, right? But for some of you guys, with some of the bags you got on some of this stuff, my God, you guys are gonna be like future billionaires for crying out loud. Probably Salamander with like, gosh, man, like 1 million plus XDC and just wow. All right, Edward Vincent. Yes, thank you very much. Defendable quant is the brain and XRP is the blood to the new financial system. All right, thanks to defendable. Menelect, dollar cost average is the strategy people would use if God was their financial advisor. Okay. Menelect, R3 quarter is XDC. Yep. Daniel Delgado. See, yeah, Menelect, he knows. Daniel Delgado, you the Don Max. Oh, well, jeez, I don't know about that, but, thank you for that. when I used to have a lot more hair on my head back in the day, because I'd always slick it back. People used to say that. They're like, "Oh, you're the Godfather" or something. I'm like, I wasn't trying to be. I just like my hair slicked back. It's just my look, if you will. But I don't know. I think when the weather gets here a lot warmer, maybe by spring, I'll probably start taking off the hat because it will get eventually too hot to wear a hat, which kind of sounds weird. But teach his own. All right, Brian Dowie, defendable. I agree. So why do you say XRP is over? Yeah, I would like to know too. All right, Celinda Anderson's in the house. Thank you for joining us. Was it 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row? 3 days in a row, right? Thank you so much, especially here on Christmas Eve. I know for a lot of you guys are already into Christmas. Shout out to John G. It's basically Christmas where he's at on Atlantic Standard Time in Nova Scotia. She says, I love HBAR, but the tokenomics of Quant are much better. Yeah, good point. Hold on a second. All right. Yes. Hello, Menelect. You guys didn't. Only one person did it. Come on, you guys. You got to do it. Next time Menelect comes in, you got to do it. All right. Crypto Talk now. Yes, Selmo Fudd is in the house. Good to see you, Selmo. Merry Christmas to you, man. All right. Selmo, are you in Cleveland right now? If so, are you having a nice snowy Christmas? I mean, that's one thing that sucks about Phoenix. It's like you don't get a white Christmas, really. Anyway. Selmo, you down with XRP? Yeah, you know me. All right, Menelect states XDC and XRP are complementary technologies, according to XDC developer Quincy Jones and others. Great point, Menelect. Always with the great intellect from Mentelect. Yep, see? Yeah, you know me. All right, so Linda Anderson, buy them all. 3 years from now, you'll be in the money. Yep. Or in my case, I'll finally be able to develop my game. Can't wait. Menelect, XRP's ODL fully unlocks the velocity of the money for the first time in human history. It's underrated, in my opinion. Yes, thank you for pointing it out. Yes, we're all bullish on ODL. And that's the whole thing. Whenever I hear somebody say something like they don't like Ripple's XRP, they're like, oh, they always focus. Yes, Crypto Winner, if you're watching, all right, much love to you, brother. But I will state this. It's like, stop focusing so much on the SEC thing. Because again, Brad Garlinghouse, the rest of the crew said, if for any reason they lose, they'll simply take their headquarters outside the United States. And the rest of the world is still going to recognize Ripple's on-demand liquidity. And on top of that, some of the, the technology, right, of the XRPL and so on, right? Even the healthcare industry is doing it. And it doesn't just end there with the financial sectors of the world. They have so much more to basically deliver and so on. Now, the other side of the argument is like, well, Max, if it was such a great thing, then how come we didn't have a great bull run all this time? Again, you got to keep in mind, it's those partnerships, it's those deals. It's trying to, like ISO 222 becoming an actual thing and the mandate and so on. It's just like as I would say, the full tap hasn't been turned to let the stream gush out of that particular on-demand liquidity. It hasn't happened yet. Until it does happen, then you can't really say that it isn't, because if anything, we're getting there. We're almost to March. March will be here quicker than we think. Come on, it's almost close to the end of the year already. We're going to be celebrating Christmas tomorrow, and then a blink of the eye, New Year's Eve will happen. All right. Let me go further down. Brian Dowie, Menelec, always appreciate your insight. Max made me say that, LOL. See, only one guy said it. I was hoping you guys would have all said it. Like, oh, there's Menelec. Hey, Menelec. Hello. Is it you? I'm looking for it. Lionel Richie, but no, that didn't happen. Only Brian Dowie. Brian Dowie, much love to you for doing that, man. At least he's a sport. You guys are all too full of chocolate and candy canes and whatever else that you're full of right now. Maybe you can't think because you had a second turkey or something. So instead of just having on Thanksgiving, you're like, Max, I had Christmas Eve turkey. It's got that chemical in it. Oh, I can't even think right now. I'm so tired. I fell asleep on your show. All right. Defendable states, in my humble opinion, that's a good way to start out. Thank you. In my humble opinion, the CEO of Stellar, XLM, left Ripple to make XLM in order to take front, and it was all a mastermind plan, in my humble opinion. Now XRP has back-end institutional, and XLP has peer-to-peer. All right. Well, fair enough. Do appreciate it. So Linda Anderson, Merry Christmas from Chandler, Arizona. No snow here. Wow, you're in Chandler, Arizona. Well, I'm in Northwest Phoenix. So how about that? Shout out to another person who is here in the Valley of the Sun. I've been here for 23 years straight. I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, hence the Portland P. Summer Flood, May, Max, you buying any land plots yet? Yeah, you're saying like actual physical land plots, or are you talking about, for instance, in the metaverse? So the answer would be no on both right now. Although for Shiba Inu, I do have 2 full leash tokens. All right, Brian Nally, XRP is a digital currency everywhere but the USA. And last but not least, Defendable says, or are you saying you agree to Defendable? Okay, well, I think if anything, guys, that's going to wrap up today's show. I know we have about 20 people here. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. I want to state this, I really, really, truly hope that you guys have a really, really great Christmas. I will not be here tomorrow. Larry stated that he will be here for sure. I wasn't even supposed to be here today, but that's okay. I was glad to be able to do a show with you guys and so on. Thank you so much for always being here through the thick and the thin and so on. Really looking forward to the future for Crypto Talk now. We're really getting a lot of momentum. Basically, we're doing all this stuff with the recorded, the live, the shorts, you name it. So I'm looking really forward to 2023. And I hope you guys look forward to tomorrow's show. I think maybe Larry's doing 2 shows, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. If you guys heard him say I didn't get a chance to watch the whole show. I watched maybe about 20 minutes of it with the, Maria Anderson earlier today. But if he's told you guys that he's got 2 shows tomorrow, then you can take that to the bank. He's got 2 shows tomorrow. So I think if anything, he is bringing back that 3 p.m. Eastern time slot. And then I think also he's going to do a 9 p.m. Eastern show tomorrow. So if anything, it's going to be a really nice Christmas special with him. For me personally, I need to have a break. You know what I mean? I need to enjoy, Christmas and so on. I may do like at least a recorded video or something like that. But as far as like just, being on like twice tomorrow and then record it is just nah. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here in just a second. I think I'm gonna check out maybe a couple more comments. Merry Christmas, everyone, from Brian Dowie. Salamander says, "Who's Larry?" Brian Dowie, did Larry buy XRP? Well, you know me, or you know him, you know Larry. Eventually, I guess at some point. I don't know. Anyway, maybe on February 14th of 2023 at 5 p.m. Eastern, he'll buy XRP. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. I'll read this. Okay, this will be the last one. Celinda says we should all sell Larry 35 cents so he can buy some XRP. Oh, geez. Oh, send him. Yeah, sell him. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, you guys. Have a great, great Christmas Eve and Christmas. I'll see you on Monday. I actually might be on another show with Daniel Gate and some of those guys. I got to find out the details. I got invited to go over there and so on. But yeah, thanks again. Have a blessed night, everybody. Merry Christmas. Over and out.